Hey, Houston fans, I am so happy.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1.
Are you ready? I was born for this. Look, every Sunday, whenever we play, I get that text. Are you ready?
Texas!
The pitch. And Altuve hits it in the air pretty deep to left. Carter is back at the wall, leaves, and it is gone! It's gone! How do you like that?
One game at a time.
Green still with it. Gets it back, lets it fly, and got it!
Win on two, 1-2.
Do H-Town what it do on today's rundown. Does the Houston Texans new player additions cause for Houston Texans fans to have new expectations? Also, the Houston Texans have 9 teams out of 17 games that had winning records last season. Can the Houston Texans make it back to the divisional round and further as they did last season? H-Town, get your listening ears ready, strap up your boots, and let's go. Welcome back, H-Town, welcome back. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to spend a few minutes here on Everything H-Town Sports Debate Show. I'm your dreadhead host, Hot Topic TV. And like always, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that notification bell so you can get the latest fire that your boy dropped. And like always, I'm the man of the people, and I'm a Houston Texans, Houston Rockets, and Houston Astros fan, baby. So I try to bring you the latest topics and the latest flames. But on to the first topic, you dig. Are the Houston Texans Super Bowl contenders or Super Bowl pretenders?
All I do is win, no matter what.
Did the new player acquisitions make you guys feel even more better about this Houston Texans roster than last year? Did these new additions, these new player additions make you say, woo, we was 10-7 last season. We beat the Cleveland Browns. Actually, we beat the brakes off the Cleveland Browns in the first round of the playoffs. Went to the divisional round. It didn't look so well. We didn't fare so well with the Baltimore Ravens. But if we add this, and this, the team can be a true Super Bowl contender. And this offseason, the Houston Texans went and added this, and this. And they look like they could be real Super Bowl contenders this season. The only thing is they playing a first place schedule. 9 teams on that schedule. 9 games and 9 teams on that schedule had a winning record. 5 of those teams had losing records, man. And let me give you some of this. Let me give you some of this breakdown. I'm a Houston Texans fan. I'm also a realist. I'm also hyped. I'm also pumped. But this is what the Houston Texans, is facing this up-and-coming season. The 9 winning opponents are the Baltimore Ravens at 13-4, the Buffalo Bills at 11-6, the Miami Dolphins at 11-6, the Indianapolis Colts, who is a division foe, at 9-8, the Jacksonville Jaguars, another division foe, at 9-8. The Detroit Lions at 12-5, the Green Bay Packers at 9-8, the Kansas City Chiefs and Super Bowl winner at 11-6, as well as your Dallas Cowboys.
Watch your mouth.
At 12-5. But those are the 9 opponents out of 17 games that you have to play. Those are 9 teams with winning records. And the game with the Indianapolis Colts came down to the last, a running back check down swing type pass, a dropped running back swing pass. And the Houston Texans were very, very lucky. Even though we had a good season, that was a lucky drop. And I guess it was destiny because the Houston Texans did what they had to do. Although dropping the game against the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons and the Jets, don't get me started. Those 3 games could have easily been won, but we dropped those games and we looked ridiculous in those games. But we did what we did with the players that we had on the roster. Our quarterback was a rookie. Our best defensive player, defensive end, Will Anderson Jr. was also a rookie. We had a lot of guys, especially at the defensive tackle position, who's not on this roster right now. Neither one of those guys in Malik Collins and Sheldon Rankins, even though we wanted Sheldon Rankins back, neither one of those guys are on the roster currently. So that's another, check, mark off, whatever you want to do, another X right there. The Houston Texans, what I feel, are true contenders, but the player acquisitions that they brought in, I believe, could help elevate them to the next level. Like bringing in the Daniil Hunter, like bringing in the Danico Autry, like bringing in the Aziz Al-Shaair. Bringing in those guys will elevate this defense. Also offensively, bringing in a Joe Mixon, bringing in a Stephon Diggs. This team could be truly elevated to the next level with those player additions, not to mention the 9 picks that we have in this up-and-coming draft. I guess actually Thursday. It's Sunday. Thursday is the draft. Friday we pick, and we have 2 second-round picks and a third-round pick on day 2. But that could even be, even if we hit on 1 or 2 of those guys, that could add and also help elevate this roster to Super Bowl contention. But let me give you a few stats in the defensive players that we brought in and why I believe this team could be elevated to Super Bowl contention, because this defense right here got some more help. And this is excluding what Will Anderson did as a rookie. I think he had about 7.5 sacks. But this is excluding what he did. And these are the sack totals of the guys that we brought in via free agency, out of the free agency. So let me give you this, man. Let me look it up. Go down here. Okay, check this out. The total, Danico Autry. We brought in Danico Autry from the Tennessee Titans. He had a career year with 11.5 sacks. We brought in Daniil Hunter from the Minnesota Vikings. He had 16.5 sacks. And we also brought in Aziz Al-Shaair, He had 2 sacks, but I believe he had like 160-something combined tackles. I mean, the guy was sideline to sideline all over the field.
Yeah, I love me a little contact, Petey.
But with the 11.5 plus the 16.5 plus the 2 sacks, that's a total of 30 sacks that we are bringing in, excluding what Will Anderson Jr. did, excluding what any of these other guys did, the couple that they added to the sack total. That's bringing in a total of 30 sacks defensively. That is monstrous. And I'm not even saying what we might do in the draft. Should we bring in a defensive tackle or whatever we're going to do? Are we going to bring in a premium player, a day 1 starter, or a guy that can just come in and contribute right away? May not be a starter, may be a backup, but he can contribute right away. This team defensively, I believe, upgraded tremendously. I know we let Malik Collins go. I know we let Sheldon Rankins get a better deal, I guess, with the Cincinnati Bengals. But we seriously upgraded this roster defensively, and the sack totals, man. Those guys are going to be able. That is DeMeco Ryans' specialty. He won a defensive line that's going to get up, fire out, and go eat, man. Go eat. That's all those guys had to do, man. Go eat. And DeMeco Ryans brought in some guys that can seriously do that. As far as Danico Autry, he can play outside, inside. You got Will Anderson on one end. You got Daniil Hunter on one end. I mean, you brought Al in on for the middle linebacker position. I'm telling you, man, this team could be seriously dangerous defensively. Not to mention trading for Joe Mixon, bringing Joe Mixon in, who's a better back than Moto Singletary. Also, you made one of the trades of the offseason, bringing in Stephon Diggs to pair him with Nico Collins, to pair him with Tank Dell, to pair him with Dalton Schultz. A lot of people seem to forget Dalton Schultz, but he's going to be open a whole lot in the middle of that field with all three of these guys being able to get open and do what they do. So this team just made themselves that more dangerous offensively and defensively, and we haven't even got to the draft yet. We haven't even got to cuts. You know, when they make all those cuts after training camp, it'd be a lot of premium type players that end up getting cut, released, and we can add that way as well. Like I said, Nick Caserio never stopped churning this roster. He's always looking to upgrade. He's always looking for players to add to make this roster better, man. All the way through the year last season, Nick Caserio was bringing in pieces who contributed, like a Derek Barnett. We brought him in late last season from the Philadelphia Eagles, and that guy down the stretch, man, even in the playoffs, that guy was eating. We brought him back as well. So that is another guy on this defensive line. I mean, this is going to be a nasty defensive line. I know we have a lot of guys that set the defensive tackle position that people may not know or people may not feel that's that type of caliber player, you know, that's the top of the NFL. But those guys are capable NFL starters, and those guys are going to plug up some holes and go eat as well, especially when you got a Will Anderson Jr. and a Danielle Hunter and a Danico Autry and a Derek Barnett and all those other guys that you have on that defensive line. We're going to be able to eat, even the Kirk Heinisch. Like, we have some guys that are physically ready to go play football and did pretty good in DeMeco Ryans' defense last season. Like I said, and also the offense, man. The offense is primed and ready. Even in this draft, I believe they should go, I don't know, maybe one of the second-round picks, third-round picks, add another back to the backfield with Dameon Pierce and Joe Mixon and let them compete, man. You can have three backs. You can never have enough offensive weapons, so you can miss me with that. We can add more offensively and make this an explosive team, man. We can make this a really, really explosive offense in a really, really, really get after the quarterback type defense, man. That is a recipe, and that is a heck of a mix to be a Super Bowl contender or maybe even win it, man. If all fall in place, because I don't care what team it is, it takes a little luck to get there and win the Super Bowl completely, but it also takes talent, and we have dogs all over the field. I'm loving what this team is doing. I'm super excited. And yeah, in my opinion, we are Super Bowl contenders and not pretenders. And these new player additions have boasted us, out of this stratosphere, all over national media. We are the national media darlings, even local media, man. We brought in a lot of guys that's going to come in and play, man. Like Will Anderson said, man, a lot of people at the Pro Bowl was asking about the Houston Texans. Hey, man, tell DeMeco Ryans to come get me, man. He said you got to be the right type of player. Everybody is not made to be a Houston Texan, and you got to be ready, man. Physically, mentally, you got to be ready to go be a dog. You have to have that swarm mentality, or you would not last with Nick Caserio and head coach DeMeco Ryans, man. That is the culture that is created here, and that's what it is, man. But like I said, the only losing opponents that we have on the schedule, we have 5 losing teams on the schedule, and that's it. And let me give you the 5 losing teams that we have on the schedule. On my notes. We playing the New England Patriots, who was 4-13. We playing the Tennessee Titans, who was 6-11, but look pretty good. We'll see what they look like. They added a couple of additions, so we'll see what they look like. The Minnesota Vikings, who was 7-10 with no Kirk Cousins, so they can be even better. The New York Jets, who had no Aaron Rodgers, but they were 7-10, and also the Chicago Bears, who was 7-10 and now have the first pick in this draft, which definitely I believe is going to be Caleb Williams. Maybe they throw a curveball. Maybe it's another quarterback that they like better, because everybody thought Bryce was the guy, and it was actually CJ who went number 2 to our Houston Texans. And I'm so thankful that the Carolina Panthers were idiots. Excuse my language, but they were. I mean, they did all that. They moved heaven and earth to move up to the number 1 pick and still didn't get it right. So, thank you, Carolina Panthers. I'm loving it, baby. But Houston Texans, I thank you guys for joining me, man. I'm fired up. I appreciate you guys. Like I say, bro, I love all you guys, man. We can chop it up. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are we Super Bowl contenders or pretenders? What do you guys think about the new additions? Do you think we should add something offensively or defensively via this draft? Man, you guys let me know. I promise I'm going to get back at you. I promise I'm going to go word for word debate. If we're going to debate, it's all love, baby, because this is what sports is about. This is what winning feels like when you have a winning organization and when you have a winning team, man. This is what it feels like, H-Town. So let's get back used to it, man, because it's been some years. I didn't even feel like we can win with King Bill, and he tore this thing down, man. They tore this thing down. But H-Town, I'm your Dreadhead host, Hot Topic TB. It's been real chopping it up with you guys. And peace.
Texas!
And we want to win now.
Win on two, 1, 2. Win.